Hello everyone, coming up this morning, government spending and clearance of arrears broadly within expected target in first 7 months of this year, but concerns remain over potential arrears build-up, particularly with some statutory payments. We hear from the Bank of Ghana. Also, next year's budget may see increase in road tolls by more than 100% and hike in some levies on petroleum products as government looks to address high budget deficit and poor road infrastructure. Plus, Ghana Revenue Authority clarifies letter to Finance Ministry asking for removal of 50% benchmark value policy on some imported items, including vehicles, saying its proposal is subject to policy approval in the 2022 budget. We've got that story coming up as well. Do stay with us. Name is Darrell Kwao. First on the lineup, the Bank of Ghana says government spending and clearance of arrears was broadly within the expected target in the first 7 months of this year. However, concerns remain over potential arrears build-up, particularly with some statutory payments. Charles Nexon looks through the central bank's September 2021 fiscal development report and has more.
Government's tight or low spending position has to a larger extent denied critical capital investment whilst liquidity remains low throughout this year. Though the Bank of Ghana says government spending is within target, there are concerns over likely accumulation of arrears, particularly constitutional payments. Being the biggest spender in an economy, any tendency by the government to slow down in expenditure has far-reaching effects on the broader economy. However, the government had no option but to adopt this position because of the large fiscal deficit due to accumulation of arrears, debt, and inadequate revenue. The Bank of Ghana's fiscal development report also indicated that total expenditure and arrears clearance for the first 7 months of 2021 amounted to a little above 59 billion cedis, below the target of 61 billion cedis. But this is higher than what was recorded during the same period last year. Compensation of employees, including wages and salaries, as well as pensions, was estimated at 17.2 billion cedis, a little below the target of 17.8 billion cedis.
Charles Nixon with that report. Industry players in the agri value chain are calling on government to outline a clear-cut plan in next year's budget on how to sustain the planting for food and jobs policy. General Secretary of the Agri Workers Union, Edward Karewe, believes the funds allocated for the initiative have dried up, hence government is struggling to keep the project running. Speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Karewe said government should rather target farmers that are in dire need of the planting for food and jobs policy to better achieve its objective.
The Planting for Food and Jobs program is at the crossroads now. The sources of funding for the Planting for Food and Jobs program has almost dried up, and government needs to find more sources of funding, innovative ones, of course. But that is the challenge. More cost has been put on the Planting for Food and Jobs just because of the overzealousness of government to prove to the world and Ghanaians that the Planting for Food and Jobs is the foundation of the economy. So, fertilizer subsidy, I'm just worried about whether government can continue to meet that rising cost of fertilizer subsidy. What it also means is that government, through the budget, must give us a clear outlook as to how they're going to sustain the planting for food and jobs into the future.
Secretary to the General Agri Workers Union Wednesday, government is also likely to increase some levies on petroleum products. This is what Joy Business has picked up from persons with knowledge of the 2022 budget. And here's George Jaffe with some more.
Joy Business to help with the current bad road infrastructure in the country. Again, government is looking at the option, low revenue mobilized, rising government expenditure due to the continuous payment made to the independent part. The development could mean that prices of petroleum products will be going up in the coming weeks. We also understand that all the day to the presentation, that is this Wednesday, anything can happen. This is because the Finance Minister, Ken Ofriatta, may indeed the last minute before he comes before Parliament to lay the budget statement for consideration.
That was George Riafit. Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority says it is yet to receive policy approval for the implementation of the 32 category of items that will be exempted from the 50% benchmark value policy beginning today. It follows a letter from the authority forwarded to the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and signed by the Commissioner General Reverend Amishadai Osuamwa on the matter. It says such policy approval, when obtained, will become
in charge of Communication and Public Affairs, Florence Asante, indicates that such policy approval, when obtained, will be communicated during the 2022 budget statement presentation scheduled for Wednesday, the 17th.
Flooding the market with imported products and making local companies uncompetitive.
But the importing community disagrees. The president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obeng, predicts an increase in price of general goods and services should there be any reversal or review.
We are surviving because of this benchmark reduction. We cannot bear this any longer.
All items under the 32 categories which may be affected should there be a policy approval include Portland cement, clinker, vehicles, ceramic tiles, aluminum product, textiles, among others.
Charles Aite. Also in the news this morning, a Deputy Finance Minister, Abnor Asare, says automating the customs revenue collection system will boost revenue mobilization of ECOWAS member states post-COVID-19 recovery. According to her, this move will aid in trade facilitation among the member states and block leakages. She pointed out that the irregularities in the collection of the ECOWAS levies call for streamlining of the processes to bring uniformity and transparency. She was speaking at the 6th meeting of the Ministers of Finance of ECOWAS member states on the community levy and consolidation of the ECOWAS Customs Union.
With trade facilitation, we also need to mobilize revenue, and we have noticed or realized that there are some inadequacies in the way member countries go about the levies, the ECOWAS levy. So in the experts meetings, they have streamlined how they feel we should go about it, such that we get a common platform that every country will have to apply, and to bring some uniformity in the way we collect our customs and revenues. And in addition to that, we're also looking at automating the customs system such that we block leakages and also improve upon revenue mobilization, because we believe that all the economies are to recover. We will have to mobilize revenues domestically, and customs and payments.
Also speaking at the meeting was the Commissioner of Finance for ECOWAS, Halima Ahmed, who indicated that it will be required for member states to have a uniform mode of payment for custom levies to increase revenue. Another important story we want to update you on: the National Development Bank has now finally secured full license from the Bank of Ghana to begin operations. A formal event to present the license to the Chief Executive and Board was carried out last Friday by officials of the Bank of Ghana and the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. The bank is now working to start full-scale operations from the first quarter of next year. Government believes the takeoff of the bank will support recovery of the economy. The National Development Bank is expected to provide medium to long-term funding for critical sectors of the economy. Now, Enterprise Group, Benso Oil Palm Plantation, and MTN Ghana are expected to continue their upward performance on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Let's now take a look at how your investments will fare this week on the stock market. Here's Ifwa Mensah of Data Bank Research.
Based on the bids and offer dynamics at the close of trading last week, we tip Enterprise Group Limited, Benso Oil Palm Plantation, and MTN to continue to climb higher this week. GCB, on the other hand, is forecast to shed some pesos. For Joy Business Report, Ifwa Mensah of Data Bank Research.
And here's how the markets are looking as we begin a new week on the currency market this morning. The dollar going for 6 cedis 26 pesos, the British pound going for 8 cedis 36 pesos. The euro is selling at 7 cedis 16 pesos. On the commodity market, crude oil lost marginally by 52 cents, selling this morning at $81.65 a barrel. Gold lost $6.54 to sell at $1,858.36 an ounce. Cocoa also lost $12 to trade at $2,525 a ton. There's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for listening. And Kojo Jackson is here with more of the Super Morning Show. Kojo.
Pafu Slagzy.
Hey.
Wagwan. So, every morning these days, now we have our